The travel nurse industry skyrocketed in 2020 as hospitals struggled with staffing shortages. Those concerns are taking a financial toll on hospital budgets and forcing them to take a deeper look at employee benefits. Holden Absher has this story.
Travel nurses fill temporary openings in hospitals around the country. They often sign contracts for 13 weeks at a time, and then they move on to experience a new city. But for Enid Bedford from Memphis, it means being closer to family. Her youngest son plays football at IU, and he tore his ACL in the first game of the season. So she started looking for contracts in Bloomington.
I wasn't here to intrude on his life as a 21-year-old college student, but to help him transition with his injury. And now that he's doing so well, I'll finish my assignment and then I'll be on my way.
Bedford became a nurse when she was 50 years old. During COVID, she started traveling for better pay and a better schedule.
I typically work, maybe a 13 or a 26-week assignment, and then I can go home for 2 months and be able to sit down and relax and spend time with my husband or family.
Patrick Smith is also a nurse completing a contract at IU Health Bloomington. He spent 2 years as a staff nurse in his hometown of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, prior to traveling. Bloomington is his third stop, and given where he's from, he's no stranger to college towns.
I enjoy getting to meet new people. I get to experience a new area that I've not been in. And it's just it's not like, oh, I visited this place. I actually got to live there for a couple months.
Smith says that some people become travel nurses for the flexibility, and some do it to improve finances. For example, a Chicago-based medical consulting firm found that the average travel nurse makes $132 per hour, which is more than double the 2019 average of $64. Over that same period, staff nurse salaries only increased from $35 to $39 per hour. Yet some people have learned how to get the benefits of being a travel nurse without ever actually having to go far from home. They're known as local travelers, and they tend to take contracts in hospitals within 90 minutes of where they're from.
As a kid, I would play with baby dolls and be the doctor or the nurse, so I always knew that was my route.
However, Hillis didn't know that traveling would be her life. She says the financial and scheduling benefits were just too good to refuse, especially since she's in school to become a nurse practitioner. She's completed contracts in Fort Wayne and Bloomington, and now she works in her hometown of Greenwood. While in Bloomington, Hillis worked for IU Health as it transitioned to its new location.
We were very heavily staffed with travelers, and then when we moved to the new hospital, they kind of were trying to get back to where it was just the staff nursing and kind of weed out the travelers. So they did a major pay cut by about $2,000 a week.
Hillis says the cut in future contracts meant it was time to move on. And her next contract was with St. Francis in Greenwood, which she says is currently offering staff nurses triple bonuses to compete with traveler pay.
Hospitals are trying to basically reward the staff just so that they don't have to use travelers, but it still seems to happen.
The Indiana Hospital Association found since 2021, nearly 70% of Hoosier hospitals increased travel nurse expenses by more than 20%. However, hospitals don't directly pay those travel nurses. Instead, they enter in contracts with these agencies, and prices can change based on demand. One nursing leader says these agencies sometimes walk away with double or triple what the actual nurses make, and that's causing the industry to take a deeper look at the value of these contracts.
I just want to stress, we're not evaluating the actual nurses' pay. It is the agency's pay, because that is more of the financial burden that we're seeing in organizations.
Despite weekly pay for travelers dropping since the height of the pandemic, Culpepper says hospitals are still in a market war with staff agencies, and it's forcing them to reconsider benefits. Some hospitals are looking at improving employee culture, increased paid time off, or even changing standard shift hours.
We've been doing 12-hour shifts for a long time, and we're hearing from our team members that might not be what they want any longer.
Culpepper says that nursing leaders hope to use the current market dynamics to create a revolutionized care model and improve job satisfaction. Those type of changes just take time. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Holden Absher.
Now, IU Health declined multiple interview requests for this story. However, it said as of October 31st, its Bloomington Hospital was staffed by 18% travel nurses.